if it's one thing true American patriots like J.D. Vance hate, it's those elite New Yorkers. The people that are living in the Hamptons. Unless, of course, you're going to try to raise money for them. Sure. Recently, the author of Hillbilly Elegy, an Ohio GOP Senate candidate, pro-Trump, was caught fundraising off the very elite that he apparently was not in favor of. His appearance in the famously swanky seaside communities in Long Island, New York, seem a bit hypocritical, especially in light of a tweet Vance had sent out earlier this month, where he, of course, went after the state of New York. Here's what he tweeted, quote, "Serious question. I have to go to New York soon, and I'm trying to figure out where to stay. I've heard it's disgusting and violent there. But is it like Walking Dead Season 1 or Season 4? That tweet, of course, obviously got ratioed to oblivion by pissed off New Yorkers. But it was great red meat for his idiot base, the people who, of course, fall for his grift. Understand that people like J.D. Vance, they're not men of the people. Guy went to Yale and had a venture capital firm. Now, of course, none of those things are necessarily bad. Of course, you can be a good person, go to Yale. You can be a good person with a venture capital firm, I guess. I mean, I've never met one, but I assume it's possible, okay, that you can fund green startups and good stuff like that. Hey, wonderful, right? But this guy, not so much, all right? Look, he did operate, like I said, a venture capital firm based in his home state of Ohio. Now, that fund got some backing from some major names, including Peter Thiel, Mark Anderson, Eric Schmidt, and Scott Dorsey. His firm, headquartered in Cincinnati, according to Axios, will invest in startups in underserved cities such as Salt Lake City, Atlanta, and Raleigh-Durham, according to a source familiar with the strategy. So we'll see if that actually panned out. But here's the thing. You can't sit there and complain about the elites while also raising money from the elites. Just saying. Understand, though, that's kind of the grift. It's the same conservative grift that they all do. I mean, they pretend to be men of the people while taking money, of course, from big corporations and gigantic conservative donors like the Mercer family, who, by the way, was there during his trip to the Hamptons. And so what do they do when they get into office after getting all that money? Well, they cut taxes on the rich, and they leave middle class and working class people with the bill. They allow these gigantic funds as well to take, snap up available housing with cash to turn into rentals. They destroy the environment. Just a couple of examples. All of this is while regular Americans, regular working people, people working full-time jobs, minimum wage, by the way, can't actually afford to live in a two-bedroom apartment in any state in the country. Now, I've got a recent report here from the National Low Income Housing Coalition. And in its annual Out of Reach report, it found that in 93% of U.S. counties, full-time minimum wage workers cannot afford a modest one-bedroom apartment. Now, of course, the report defines affordability as the hourly wage a full-time worker must earn to spend more than 30%, or no more than 30% of their income on rent. That's in line with what most budgeting experts will recommend. So that, in order to do that, of course, you would need to earn $24.90 an hour for a two-bedroom home and $20.40 an hour for a one-bedroom rental. You're nowhere near that. Given each state and locality's minimum wage, the report finds that the average minimum wage worker in the U.S. would actually need to work nearly 97 hours per week to afford the average two-bedroom home. That is obviously more than 2 full-time jobs. So, yeah, there's that. Okay. Now, is J.D. Vance in favor of raising the minimum wage? No, but he claims to speak on behalf of regular people while he begs rich people for campaign money. Of course, he was called out for this. One person says, J.D. Vance, man of the people against the elites, hosting a fundraiser in real America aka Southampton. Another person adds, nothing is more JD Vance than JD Vance hobnobbing in the Hamptons fundraising. Another person adds, this is how he got the nickname Everyman JD Vance, because he understands what it means to be anti-establishment, anti-coastal, elitist. Obviously, a lot of sarcasm here. Another person says, I mean, if JD Vance's hero, Donald Trump, proved anything, he proved he could be a complete phony and still fool total marks who will buy into your complete BS narratives. So here's the thing. I see everywhere that they call JD Vance a populist and Donald Trump a populist. Are they? Are they really? Look, is JD Vance in favor of raising the minimum wage, like the majority of the American people want? No, I don't see that anywhere. And maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't heard him talking about that at all. Does he want guaranteed cheaper health care? You know, like the majority of Americans? No. I mean, he hasn't really come up with any sort of plan to support it. And of course, in reality, we know that the cheapest health care that would cover the most, the most amount of people would be Medicare for all. Is he in favor of Medicare for all? No, of course, that's socialism. Does he want legalized marijuana? Come on, that's a slam dunk. That's a layup. What about getting money out of politics? Everybody from across the aisle agrees, hey, that we should get corporate money and the big donor money out of politics. Oh, that's right. You were just there in the Hamptons begging for billionaire money. So yeah, no. The only thing that I've seen from JD Vance is vague anti-establishment rhetoric, criticizing the elites and wokeness, and then calling for more immigration restrictions. That's not populism. It's demagoguery. And more importantly, it doesn't actually hold the wealthy establishment accountable, nor does it transfer money and power back into the hands of the people. It doesn't. It doesn't do anything. It's a ploy from people who just want to milk your outrage in order for their own wealth and power. And unfortunately, politics, the political sphere is full of them. Ever since Bernie Sanders showed that you can raise money from the people, being on an anti-establishment populist platform, there have been politicians that have popped up and that have said, oh yeah, I'm anti-establishment too. Except that they're actually not. Except they're actually helping the establishment, and they're not actually helping the American people. What they're doing is they're just, again, taking advantage of your rightful anger, your rightful outrage at the system, which is absolutely broken and does benefit the wealthy few over the rest of the American people. And they're using that in order to get their own power and privilege. And so that's the problem here. Beware of people that claim to be populist, but actually don't back anything popular. Unless their policies are, there to, or they're in favor of policies that will actually help the majority of the American people and will actually fight for those policies, they're not a populist. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.